Hello everyone, hope you guys can hear me okay. Hope you guys are having a good Friday. Today's Friday, right? Yes it is. A couple of things I wanted to talk about today. A lot of it's kind of stupid, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's been a pretty hectic week with certain things coming out. Um, First thing I do want to show is something from the independent side. Um,
Wait.
there's a there's an artist named of Irene. She's been working on her independent comic series called Fiendish. She dropped the trailer for her next book, and I just want to show you guys the trailer real quick. She's a really talented artist, really amazing. This is a series I actually do want to support and get into. But let's just take a look at this really quick, this trailer really quick that she dropped. And I love that all of her pages are colored too, because Because most people who work on like independent comics or manga, they usually go for like the black and white aesthetic. But I like how she has all of her stuff colored, and I believe she has like a black and white version for her comic. Yeah, she does have a black and white version, but yeah, this is the third. Well, she goes by chapters, but this is like the third book of her series. I really love this cover right here. This cover is pretty dope. Um, she already has two books prior, well, three books technically prior, because she has like a 2.5 version. It's kind of like an in between book. Really amazing art, talented artist. Really inspiring too, especially for someone who wants to enter in the independent comic space. Um, she also has her own website. Everything looks really professional in how she did it. I believe her she's doing this on Indiegogo. So yeah, this went up because she already this is already a successful campaign because her goal was 1,000. I was looking at this yesterday, and when I looked at it yesterday, it was at I believe it was at 18,000. So yeah, this is highly successful. Like I said, it looks really professional. Um, I'm gonna get into this too. I'm gonna purchase this. I'm actually gonna try to purchase um, the first two books of this series. Really amazing artwork. Really talented artist. From what I believe, she's inspired. She really loves the dark fantasy themes. She's really into series like Berserk and Vinland Saga, and you can see that um, from her artwork and the world and the characters that she has created. So, yeah. Um, if you're interested, let me know. Let me know in the chat. I'll put in a link so you can look at this. But yeah, really amazing work from Irene. And give her a follow on YouTube. She goes by Rennie Draws. But yeah, I just wanted to take a look at that. But before we go into the other stuff, there is some major, well, something major did come out yesterday that I wanted to talk about. If you're an Avatar fan, so this was we actually got this. Well, we actually got a tidbit of news of this a couple of months ago. So yeah, they're working on a new Avatar series. Supposed to be a sequel to the Legend of Korra. It was announced that it's going to be called Avatar: The Seven Havens. It's going to be 26 episodes divided into two seasons, so each season is going to be about 13 episodes. The next Avatar is going to be an Earthbender. Everyone already knew that. And it's saying that the story follows an earthbending twins after a world-shattering disaster where one discovers she's the new Avatar after Korra. So, according to leaks, they're saying that this takes place 100 years, I believe, after Korra. I think it's 100 or 200. I think it's 100 years after Korra. So, and they're saying this is going to take place in a more modern era, like kind of like our timeline, basically. Um, so I can click on the picture. So this was an artwork that they revealed for the series. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be a female, and she's gonna have a twin. So I kind of have like I kind of have some criticisms about it. One, obviously the art style is pretty different from the last Airbender and Korra. Not sure how I feel about the prosthetic leg. I'm just gonna be completely honest. I feel like this is. I'm just gonna be honest. I feel like this is kind of dumb. This was like not the smartest decision to make. I'm just gonna be honest. And I know what you guys are gonna say, and I know what you guys are gonna say. Like we had disabled characters in the past, like obviously Toph and the no armed waterbender from the Red Lotus in the Legend of Korra. But one thing you gotta understand too is that those characters were written in a different time. Like the no armed waterbender, she was a villain, so there wasn't really much about her. But Toph, they did a good job with Toph in terms of how she was written as a character. Because, like, yeah, we knew that she was blind. She would even make fun of herself for being blind. But they didn't use it as they didn't use her blindness to like limit her in any way. And I respect how they used her powers and her abilities. Like it was really well thought out. And one thing I respected about Toph, she never felt like she was a burden or like a victim. There were a few times where she did feel like it was I could say like maybe like one or twice like maybe, but at the end of the day, they did a good job writing Toph's character. This though, you gotta remember what era we're in right now, in terms of like how Hollywood writing is right now. So I can already see it. And another thing too about the series is apparently something happens where the Avatar is hated by both mankind and spirits, and she's being hunted by both. So automatically, I can already see this being like some sort of like, all right, I'm a victim complex, especially with the prosthetic legs. So I can already see it like saying she's probably gonna be like, oh, my life is so hard. I'm being hunted, and I can't, and I have one leg, shit like that. So already for me, it's looking like that's where it's going to go in terms of like who she is as a character. Um, but like I said, I'm just speculating, so I don't know. But I'm not the only person who feels this way because ever since this was revealed, there is been a lot of mixed reviews about this. Some people said they can't wait. Some people don't like it. Some people are like in the middle. Like I would say I'm more so in the middle slash kind of not interested. I'm just gonna be honest. Um, I said this numerous times before. I feel like if they want to if they want to do more stories about other avatars, I feel like they should go back in time and not forward. That's just my personal opinion. Everyone in the Avatar community says they wanted to see a series about Avatar Kyoshi, which obviously I feel like they're going to do that at some point. And also, even just not Avatar stories, I feel like they could do characters on they could do stories on other characters too. Um, and also, they technically still haven't finished adapting the Last Airbender because we still haven't gotten any animated works for the um, the journey when they go look for Zuko's mom. So I feel like they should finish that before they even do other stuff like this. But we have seen them do stories of avatars in the past before. Like in the Legend of Korra, they did I believe they did like one or two episodes about Avatar One, the first Avatar, and like I said before, I thought that was really cool. I feel like they should do more stories like that. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this right now. I guess we'll have to wait until we see a trailer for this. I believe this character in the back is her teacher, from what I heard, and the pet is her companion. But we'll have to wait and see. Um, I hope it's a good series, and I hope it lives up to the standards of what the fan base is looking for. Because ever since Korra came out, the fan base has been really mixed, in my opinion. Because a lot of people didn't really like Korra as an avatar. There are some elements that were cool, In terms of Korra, I guess you could say I'm like kind of in the middle because I kind of like I didn't like Korra as an Avatar, but at the same time I kind of like the opponent she was facing, especially Zahir from season three. I thought he was a really good villain, but I don't know. I want this to be a good series. Like I really want this to be a good series, but it's looking like this is just going to be like a one and done season because it's 26 episodes. They're making it to two seasons, but it's 26 episodes. Um, I guess they're probably doing this just a test to see if this is good with the fans. Maybe if it's good, then they'll obviously do more. I mean, they did. I mean, the creatives they left Netflix and they joined up with Paramount. Like they created their own studio division called Avatar Studios to make properties in the Avatar world. So this has to be good, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, like I said, the comments are pretty mixed about this. Um, Scroll down. Like they're pretty mixed about this. Like yeah, for example, right here, this person's saying that no one had issues with disabled characters before, but you gotta remember at the same time, these characters were written in a different era. So that's why I make the argument like disabled characters during the early 2000s versus how they would write a disabled character now is completely different. That's just my personal opinion, and I feel like a lot of people would agree with me. Yeah, like see, like a lot of people want Kyoshi, and another thing, it was mentioned before in Korra, she doesn't have access to the previous avatars. She can't speak to them. So in this series, it looks like the only avatar she's going to be able to speak to, this new one, is Korra. Because she's not going to be able to speak to Aang or anyone before that. So yeah, like see, like some people are just like a lot of people are kind of upset because it's another female avatar. Like I said, like it doesn't really matter because that's just my personal opinion because before Aang it was Roku. So I guess it's not so much as a problem as if it's another female character. The problem is that how is this character going to be written in the series, and that's the problem I have. Yeah, a lot of people are saying woke. Yeah, some people are trying. Yeah, yeah, like I said, it's really split down the middle. Some people want this. Some people don't really care about it. But but yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, new Avatar coming soon. I believe this is coming out next year. It's gonna be on Paramount Plus and Nickelodeon. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But the next thing I want to go into is unfortunately some dog shit. So let me bring up the video. So the next thing I want to talk about is some straight up dog shit. So I said this time and time again as a kid, even when I was a teenager. DC really had the animation down packed, man. Like DC animated movies has been a thing ever since like the 90s. And I can honestly say from the 90s until like the 2020s, I could say about 80% of the stuff they produce for animated films were a hit when it came to DC properties. 80% of them were a hit. They knew what they were doing. The animation was top notch, and they gave us stuff that people actually wanted. Ever since they've been doing the Tomorrowverse, starting with Superman Man of Tomorrow, a lot of people noticed a dip in quality from animation because the DC animated movie universe with the whole what started with Flashpoint and ended with Apocalypse War I feel like that's when the animation was like at its best. Even though I kind of feel like the movies in terms of like the story and everything weren't the best, but the animation was really good, and it's just insane to me how we went from that to the Tomorrowverse. That's what people call it. And ever since then, they've just been doing random DC movies, and this is one of them. This movie is called Aztec Batman. Yes, that's the actual name of the movie. And I said this time and time again. There is just some stuff that Hollywood makes that literally nobody asks for, and this is one of them. Like seriously, who asked for this shit? So let's play this dog shit, and then I'll give you my opinions about it. Obviously, you already know my opinion about it, but let's watch this dog shit.
A wise man told me once, fear can kill you or inspire you to action.
Yeah, so this is supposed to be Batman, people. This is supposed to be Batman.
My son, when you take my place, it'll be your duty to always be ready for battle.
What are those? My hands control the power of destiny. What I want.
Like let's not even talk about the let's not even talk about the whole stupid premise right now. Like this is what I've been saying. Look at the animation. How did DC get here in terms of animation? Why is the animation so bad? Like the animation for DC used to be so good. Like look at this shit. I can't remember the last DC movie with decent animation. I'm just gonna be completely honest. Like some people would say something like the Tomorrowverse movies would be good, had like DC animation, but again, look at the DC animated movie universe and look at the Tomorrowverse. Like, it's a huge dip in animation, and it's just like, how the fuck did we get there?
It's cold.
Impossible. We have strict rules in place that forbid this.
Rules are rules.
This animation looks so bad, man.
Slaughter them all!
Are you all right? Where's your father? I'm going to stop Cortez. I want you to train to become the greatest warrior that the world has ever known. What else do you require, my lords? Fear. Even with all of your training, I still can't defeat them. If only there was somebody who's stealthy.
I'm guessing that's supposed to be Aztec Catwoman, from what I'm guessing.
Find that bat.
So this is Two-Face. Okay.
And that cat.
What?
Put your trust
Seriously, who asked for this?
in me. Cortez must stand and face my vengeance.
Aztec Poison Ivy.
Not vengeance, but through sacrifice.
You've been given a sacred mission. Whether you accept it or not, it's the truth.
Tell us, war leader, what are your orders?
Attack!
Okay. I really want to know who asked for this. I really want to know who asked for this. Look at the comments. Like, I'm being serious right now. Who asked for this? Like, I can't think of anyone that wants to watch this. Like, besides the stupid premise of making an Aztec Batman, like, the animation just looks terrible. Like, animation just looks so bad. Like, who wants this, bro? Like, this animation looks so bad. And I feel like the other reason why the animation looks like this is probably like whoever had the idea for this movie project. DC probably was probably like we'll let you do it, but we're not gonna give you that much funds. That's probably what it is, because I just don't I just don't see what type of audience is interested in this. This feels like they're checking a box. Like they want an excuse to like make a non-white Batman. But yeah, what do you guys think? You guys gonna watch this? I'm not. I'm watching this shit. But yeah, let me know if you're gonna watch this shit. And if you do, let me know how it is. Um, Before we switch gears, I do want to watch a video real quick from Monte Sensei. Dropped a video today about how to know your audience. And after watching this crap, I think it's something that we should watch.
Thing I learned throughout the years is that one of the best things a creative can do is to know their audience, then serve their audience. And in a
This goes for not just for people in entertainment, or this goes for people who are like want to start their own business. This is something that's very important in my personal opinion. You need to know your audience and your customers. You really do, and it's very important. I feel like everyone should take this into account if you plan on being a creative or like starting your own business. This is something that's very important.
the current state of things, it's a very undervalued way of approach. It's like whenever someone has created something special, there's this automatic push to always expand and grow. How can I find ways to appeal to new people? And when it doesn't happen naturally, they tend to shift their methods, causing them to leave behind the people they appeal to in the first place. And I think an anime that really does this well of knowing their audience is Panty and Stocking, making no.
So the point you said is in terms of like they want to expand, shifting their audience. I feel like that's a perfect example of what the MCU did after Endgame. Finding like they really shifted towards like going over like the most minority group of audience and trying to cater to them, and doing that they lost their fan base.
No apologies for its wild, raunchy, spontaneous, especially sexual humor.
Guys, oh, get your heads out of the gutter.
And random references from classic material of the past. It's like the plot alone acts as gatekeeping itself, serving as a middle finger, essentially saying, if you don't like what we have to offer.
Why don't you get the hell out?
And I remember, with season 2 dropping, I was worried that they might feel compelled to tone it down a bit, careful not to offend the feeble, frail-minded types who need a trigger warning for everything, like Rush Hour.
What's that?
Yes, that is a thing.
Oh yeah, so I never watched Panty and Stalking. I have heard good things about it, but hold on, actually, I'm gonna show that
Yes,
message. So, for those who don't know, Rush Hour now, like if you watch it like on television, they put out like a trigger warning thing, saying that apparently the languages and the humor in this movie is outdated and could be considered offensive. Mind you, this is a PG-13 movie, so this alone should just tell you like what times we're living in. When a movie like Rush Hour has to be, well, they have to put messages like this for a movie like Rush Hour. So yeah, this is the current state of modern entertainment right now. This is the current state.
It is a thing.
My daddy saved 5 crackheads from a burning building by himself.
My daddy once caught a bullet with his bare hands.
My daddy kick your daddy's ass all the way from here to China, Japan, wherever the hell you from, and all up that Great Wall
Hey,
too.
don't talk about my
Don't talk about my dad.
So in a current day, that would be considered so offensive. They'll try to cancel Chris Tucker for saying that. But in my time, for those of you who were grew up in the '90s and 2000s, in my time, this was peak comedy. Still is peak comedy.
And I'm glad to say they have not let me down, staying true to the core of what I want from panty and stocking. But of course, not everyone shares that opinion. New panty and stocking with garter belt isn't nostalgic, it's stuck in the past. Anime fans who waited for 15 years may be fine with this, but the highly anticipated sequel is currently holding itself back. Fans of the original panty and stocking and American adult comedies in general will love this throwback to the raunchy humor of the 90s up to the 2010s. But that's the problem. New panty and stocking episode 2 sense of humor is stuck in the past. It's not a problem, it's refreshing, but let's break it down. I have no qualms with somebody not finding the humor funny, to each his own, but I would rather something continue to succeed serving a niche, maybe small audience while maintaining the core of what the people know it to be, than it failed trying to be something it's not with attempts to have massive reach outside of its core base. As this person said, fans of the series and 90s and 2000s adult comedy in general love this shit. It's a breath of fresh air when a creator has no constraints and is allowed to let loose like a wild bull in the streets, callous of who they might offend. Because I often hear, oh, you couldn't make that today. That comedy is way too offensive. You'll never get the green light for that to be made. And I think more than ever, people are starving for that edgy, unsafe humor. The type that makes your stomach hurt laughing uncontrollably. For instance, whenever I see someone of a new generation I know personally watch The Office, they can't help but laugh.
Man, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Maybe we could go out for a beer sometime, and you can tell me how you do that to another dude.
Martin Nash, I presume? Follow me, I will show you where all the slaves work. Not so. Your desk.
That comedy is so alien to them because they never seen anything like it before. Because comedies...
I surprisingly never watched The Office before. Might have to look into it. A lot of people have been telling me to watch it. It's a classic.
Today are like an endangered species of a genre. And you might say, well, those are people you know personally, so they might share my sense of humor. And yeah, that's the audience that comedy is meant for. It wouldn't be for everyone. That's the point. Know your audience, then serve your audience. You just gotta have a spine to go through with it. The Bodyguard is the most egregious case. Even if it's the funnier and zanier of the two, it's still a parody of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, an anime that's 25 years old at this point and a franchise that's at least 30 years old. Bitch Girls for Life is only marginally better since it doesn't trap itself in old references. It would have been better if the new panty and stocking with garter belt episode 2 had more wit to its comedy beyond the mile-a-minute cussing, or if at least updated its references.
Again, people who write articles like this, these are people who have just got into watching anime. These are not original anime fans. These are what we consider tourists. It's just insane to me how so many people try so hard to push this propaganda, and it's just like, dude, you're literally writing to yourself. You're not writing to anyone else.
No, that's the worst thing they could do, and thankfully they haven't. The sad thing about today is that there's nothing of novelty being created. If you look at current movies, it's always a reboot, remake, or
Yep, it's like, bro, they have done like so many Alien movies in the past couple of years, like Alien, Predator. Another thing about Jurassic. Wait, hold on. I actually want to go back to that. Hold on.
movies, it's always a reboot.
This is what makes no sense to me. I thought Jurassic. So, is this another reboot to a reboot? Because didn't they recently just reboot Jurassic Park? with Jurassic World with that Chris Pratt movie. Kind of confused, like, so it's another reboot. Hmm. And I heard this movie was like mediocre as fuck.
Remake, or reimagining, or sequel of something from the past dating decades ago, where the original is 9 out of 10 times always better. The original in the past dating
I'm not too upset about the Mortal Kombat stuff.
Remake, or reimagining, or sequel of...
I'm not too upset about the Mortal Kombat stuff. I'm just upset. Well, one, again, that's his name, right? Carl Urban. I think that's his name. I don't know why they picked him to be Johnny Cage. I think that was not the best casting, in my opinion. And also the actress they picked to play Jade, terrible fucking choice. My God, terrible choice.
Something from the past dating decades ago, where the original is 9 out of 10 times always better. There is no current references to draw from. Creativity is truly lacking, at least as far as the West goes. And I'm not being biased because they draw references from eras I wasn't even alive yet. The first episode, Panty drops a line, "Do you feel lucky, punk?" Well, do you?
Oh, tell me, do you feel lucky, punk? Well, do ya? Do ya?
You got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
That's a classic Clint Eastwood line from a film made in the 70s. Keyword, classic. Oh, and just a heads up, you could never beat me in Yu-Gi-Oh! Back then.
Challenge accepted.
I was so obsessed with collecting rare cards, which I showed in a recent live stream, that I also
My brother had a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards growing up. He had like a binder full of them. I wonder what happened to them. But my brother had like a lot of them.
created my own dual disc out of cardboard and dueled people in my class with it.
Nerd alert!
Yes, I was truly obsessed, but moving on. It could be argued that New Penny and Stock in episode 2 is so dated because Trigger knows exactly who its audience is, specifically millennial anime fans. I would also say the latter part of Gen X. There's something admirable about how the anime knows that it's a product of its time and is ridiculously proud of it. The episode sticks to what made the original anime a hit, even if doing so dates it almost immediately. And I disagree. It doesn't date it because it draws from so many different eras and decades that it's almost like a time machine when you watch it. Trigger set out to pay homage to American cartoons like the Powerpuff Girls and Drawn Together when they made Penny and Stocking with Garterbelt. And nothing has changed in the sequel seasons, visual influences, and goals. The episode...
For those of you who don't know, Drawn Together is this was a show that came out in the early 2000s. Like, oh man. It was amazing to me how much stuff that show was able to get away with back in the day. If they were to bring this show back now, it would not be the same. I do see the inspiration with the Powerpuff Girls and Drawn Together with this show. It's kind of like a parody of it in a way. But like I said, I haven't watched Painting and Stalking, but I am interested. I would be interested to watch it.
So it doesn't really offer anything new in terms of animated spectacle, but it maintains the high quality and vibrant style that the season premiere boasts. And I'm completely fine with that. Give me what I want, no more, no less. Sometimes with new technology, creators in general try to go above and beyond so unnecessarily that it completely ruins the viewing experience. Sometimes with animated comedies that have been airing for a long time, they update their animation with new technology without realizing the old animation served as comedy itself. And when you strip that away, you remove part of its humor. And I'm so glad Penny and Stocking hasn't done that. I love how they transition in and out of the classic anime look, especially when getting ready for battle, when you just see how bad they are. Like, damn. You love to see it. It's like a striptease or something. The way Trigger's animation complements the characters' loud personalities and the script's gags is perfect. And I couldn't agree more. Trigger is known for their exaggerated animation, emphasizing body movements, bringing dialogue to life, where the animation is a character and personality of its own, and is so fitting for what Penny and Stocking is. Now, I hope I'm not getting ahead of myself or speaking too soon. It's still early in the season, and they could probably pull some bullshit later, trying to introduce some modern crap, trying to get with the times, but
I don't think they're going to do that, and the reason why I say that is because So in the very first season of Spanning and Stalking, for what I understand, they're voiced by Monica Rial and Jamie Marchi, two people who need to get to be taken out of the anime community in general. But in this new season, they're not voicing the characters, and it's kind of eyebrow raiser because I remember they did like a panel talk about this show a few years ago about the return. And hey, again, I don't know if it's because people, if anime fans are tired of hearing them, which is kind of true. Like anime fans are kind of tired of hearing them, or maybe it's because they just don't want to voice the show anymore because of what it represents. But either way, I don't see that happening in this show. I feel like it's gonna keep to its spirit. So, and plus, from what I understand, the West has no influence in terms of the production of this series. So,
I have faith they won't. I mean, the first season, they used the bundle of sticks word, infusing it with comedy. Not scared to have characters refer to them as bitches, even in the latest episode.
Like the rest of these bitches.
And it's just a fuck you to the current politically correct way of going about everything. Oh, you couldn't do that when clearly you can, and Panty and Stocking is successful at it, so yeah. But that's all I have for this video. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. One reference that was random from the first season was the Fight Club one. First, that's top 5 favorite movies for me.
Yeah, with enough soap, one could blow up just about anything.
Tyler was full of useful information.
But I just would never expect that because Fight Club, it's popular, but at the same time it's not so popular. Like, people know of it, but not everyone has seen it. But shout out to the writers. These guys have true taste in film. Also, if you haven't already, check out my music on Spotify.
yeah, great video from Monte Sensei. Yeah, I agree. This is a show that knows its audience. They know what they want for their for their show, and I'm really happy they didn't bend the knee to anyone. But yeah, really great video from Monte Sensei. So I guess now we can get to the next topic I wanted to talk about, and that is Collective Shout. So I think which video I wanted to look at first. Hold on, let's look at this one first because this one is related to the situation. Let's look at this video from Chibi.
The Japanese Fair Trade Commission applies a confirmation procedure to Visa for administrative sanctions on suspicion of
So for those of you who don't know what's going on, Visa and MasterCard, they hold a huge monopoly when it comes to payment processors. And the issue here is a couple months ago in Japan, Visa and MasterCard has been attacking a lot of manga and anime sites that sell like basically like mature content when it comes to anime and manga. And basically they're not allowing people to use their cards on those certain sites. And because of it, a lot of sites, a few certain sites have gone out of business. Some of them had to remove the mature content on there, which is insane to me because, mind you, Visa MasterCard won't let you do that. Won't let you buy that anime and manga material, but they'll still allow you to buy a subscription on OnlyFans for a female, which is kind of insane to me. So, yeah, just wanted to take a look at this, on what's going on with them, and then I also want to look at Collective Shout after, because that's another thing itself that I wanted to talk about.
Violating antitrust laws. This is huge. Like, this is actually some of the best news we...
So right now, Japan is fighting back against this. And I'm really happy they are, because again, what Visa and MasterCard are doing, it takes away from creative freedom. I don't know how creative freedom works in Japan, but here, obviously, you know, there's a lot of creative freedom here, in terms of like I believe actually I can't actually I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but I do feel like there was a lot of creative freedom here as an artist when creating stuff. But let's watch the video.
Could have gotten from Japan when it comes to the whole Visa, MasterCard payment processor debacle with, Collective Shout as well, kind of raising their voice and people becoming aware of them. This is legitimately incredible news, because what this basically outlines is that Japan's done. They're done with Visa and these other payment processors getting away with, causing other different small businesses within Japan to buckle and bend the knee, shut down operations, everything, all for brand protection. For instance, Visa's brand protection. It's clear that Japan's done with it. And I'm just so glad that we've had back-to-back good news with this, with Yamada Taro getting, elected, and then even seeing another politician, by the way, I want to pull it up here. This is another politician in Japan. Like, here's actually what his page looks like. You can see it for yourself. I'll translate it here. But this is a Japanese politician straight up name dropping Collective Shout as well. And this happened like a day and a half ago. So it's just...
So this is good. These politicians are people, from what I understand, they actually care about creative freedom. And these are people are tired of the bullshit, like he named drops Collective Shout and what's happening on Steam. Like I said, I'm going to talk about that in a second. But yeah, like, people are tired of the bullshit. And mind you, the people who are pushing this shit are not even Japanese. Just keep that in mind.
Japan has become aware. It's like the Eye of Sauron has now awoken. It is aware of its enemy. And that's basically what has happened here. It is just insane to see that we're finally getting some pushback. Like, this is legit extreme pushback. You have multiple politicians in Japan mentioning this. They are now putting sanctions on Visa. And what's really crazy about this whole article, by the way, it says, according to the Japanese Fair Trade Commission, this is the first time that international credit card brands have been subjected to administrative sanctions, including Visa, which is the largest company in the industry and boasts the largest market share in Japan.
So yeah, and this is a big thing, like, because Visa and MasterCard, they have a very, very huge monopoly when it comes to payment processors. And like I said, they are limiting people from using their card on certain things. Like, it's kind of insane how a card company can tell you what you can use your card to buy and what you can't use it to buy with. It's just insane to me. It got to a point where Elon Musk, like what happened with Steam, because the same thing was happening with Steam and their certain games library, where it got to a point where Steam actually removed certain games because of this, because of what this Collective Shout group is doing. So it got to a point where Elon Musk chimed in on it, and even he was talking about starting up his own payment process. That's how big this situation has gone. But let's continue the video.
That is huge. Like, once again, that the levels of how huge this is unfathomable. Like, for instance, Visa is getting slapped with this antitrust, like, law violations, and obviously there's going to be probably massive investigations. And if you scroll down here, this is more of retreading some stuff basically from the past. There was already investigation last year. I briefly talked about it. But it seems like Japan, with everything that's been going on, it's become increasingly clear. And the core Japanese community and people that live in Japan have become aware of Visa and MasterCard's overbearing nature. And especially with seeing like a politician just straight up name drop Collective Shout, they're not going to be able to get away with what they've been doing as of late. There is definitely going to be some, people looking into this officially, trying to get to the bottom of what's going on. And I'm so happy I could share just such great news here. Like I said, it's like the Eye of Sauron. The entire internet collectively awoke, and they were like, we're done. Like, we're done with this. Like, it goes to show.
But yeah, like I said, Collective Shout, so for those of you who don't know who Collective Shout is, I don't know if he talks about it in this video. Does he? Let me see. Oh yeah, so they do. So yeah, this is insane. So I actually want to play this part right here. Where is it? Let's go back a little bit.
coming together and just straight up, we're not having it. It's very obvious. Like, the internet in general is just not dealing with this. I have seen honestly, I have not seen this many people unified against a group and a situation in a long time, at least in the gaming space, anime space, and manga.
So I told you what was happening with Steam. Like, they removed a lot of content on Steam because they believe it's offensive to women. Mind you, these are video games. These are fictional characters. These people are defending fictional characters but don't want to defend real life people, real life women, mind you. And Collective Shout is a big feminist group in Australia. And people have been doing research, so it looks like that most of these women have worked with or on the Australian government, and they're being backed by the Australian government. Like, senators from the Australian government has been supporting them, and they've been supporting them, vice versa. But this is an Australian group with, I don't know, for some reason has so much power. Like, the fact that they were able to do this with Steam, like, the way I see it, I'm not upset that a group like this exists, because there's always going to be a bunch of groups like this that exist. My issue is the fact that Steam has given them so much power to do this. Like, Steam has bent the knee. And mind you, one reason why people love Steam so much is because of, the creative freedom behind it. A lot of people were able to upload games. Obviously, like, Steam has their own guidelines and things of what you can upload on the what you can upload and post on there. But this group just comes out of nowhere and just makes Steam bends the knee, and it's just insane to me. Like, it's absolutely insane that they have this much power.
Space. Like, I've seen everybody, people that are normally enemies of each other, actually coming together and just straight up talking about this and saying how wrong this is. So it goes to show, you can only push so far until you unite people, and that's what's happened. Now, with all of that being talked about, the last thing I want to throw up on screen here is this right here. So this individual that you see me quote retweeting is a Collective Shout member. It officially works for Collective Shout. I'll pull it up right here. You can see that they are, actively working with Collective Shout. And if you go to this post they made literally this morning, they make an entire thread, you can literally see it right here, defending cuties. Now, I want to make sure I reiterate what Collective Shout stands for. For those that don't know who they are a pro-feminist activist group meant to protect girls and women. But apparently, cuties is fine. And cuties is fine because it used actual kids in very suggestive and horrible ways, but because it was depicted in a bad light, it's okay. That's what they literally said, basically.
So they're defending this same group, Collective Shout. They support a movie called Cute. I think it's a movie or a series on Netflix called Cuties, and it's a show that depicts the sexualization of girls, and they support this, but they won't support fictional content. They think fictional content needs to be censored. Keep that in mind. And they actually show like an image of what, like, let me show you like the cover image of what this looks like. Like, it's fucking disgusting. Like,
old cuties actually bad. You can literally,
like, yeah, he censored it on here, but like, these are kids. These are kids. And they support this shit.
See it right here that it's absolutely disgusting. So this was years ago, by the way. This was back in 2020 when all this controversy happened. So it goes to show that this person's opinion that was 5 years ago has changed onto the completely other side. And the question now comes down to, did they change their opinion because they wanted to fit into the group? Probably, yes. But I do think that seeing just such a radical shift in opinion and her basically calling this out for what it is, disgusting and should never have existed, to then straight up defending it like 5 years later, just goes to show that the priorities of this group, they don't care about real people, they don't care actually about kids or anything like that. They legit only care about censoring content that doesn't hurt anyone while also trying.
The last thing I wanted to talk about really quick is the new game called Wu Chang. I beat Stellar Blade last weekend. Really good game. Give the game out of 10. I'll give it like a 7.5 to an 8. I think it's really good. I'm interested in the sequel. They're working on a sequel right now. I'll be interested to play that when it comes out. Had a lot of fun playing it. Wu Chang is another game that just came out on Thursday. It's free on Game Pass. It's downloading right now. I'm waiting for that to download so I can start playing that tonight. Obviously, some people are kind of upset about it, so let's take a look at it.
Wu Chang Fallen Feathers is the latest Souls-like on the block, and it is getting a lot of attention right now. While there are some gamers that are dealing with technical difficulties, and that definitely does bring the experience.
So on Steam, the numbers are kind of down. The reason why the numbers are down because it's kind of hard to start up. I have been seeing some people when they were streaming this on Thursday. A lot of people did have some issues booting up the game. So that's the main reason why the reviews are kind of bad. Besides that, seeing the gameplay, it's another Souls-like game. Pretty interesting. I think it's Chinese mythology. This is something that I feel like a lot of people would be interested in if you're into the Souls-like genre of games.
It's down for some people. Others have had a flawless time, and they're saying that it is a phenomenal game all around. I know I've personally put a couple of hours into it so far, and I'm absolutely loving it. But the journalists are so and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I, as a woman, am perfectly fine with seeing all different sorts of depictions of women in my entertainment. I don't always...
Wow, look at that. Her as a female doesn't mind it. Wow. And mind you, these people will say that no woman wants to see shit like this when Stellar Blade came out. Wow. Look at that. A female likes this. Wow.
always want them to be Mary Sue's. I don't always want them to be the good guys. Sometimes I want them to be the demons. Sometimes I want them to be the villains. Sometimes I want them to be a little bit evil. And unfortunately for these individuals online who are sensitive snowflakes, sometimes art is a little bit uncomfortable. You're going to see things that might make you cringe a little bit, might make your skin crawl a little bit, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But one thing that they just cannot deal with are breasts.
And she is right. There's always going to be some properties where it's going to make you feel a bit uncomfortable. At the same time, like, there's a reason for that, like, especially for the type of character or type of person it is. Like, especially if it's like a villain, if it's depicting like a deplorable, like, terrible villain, and obviously there's going to be like some stuff that will make you feel uncomfortable to show like how evil of a person someone is. Like, for example, Made in Abyss, Bondrewd, very well written villain. He performs experiments on orphan children and uses them as literal sustenance so that he can dive deeper into the abyss without suffering from the curse. And from his perspective, you know, he believes like what he's doing is for the sake of progress. But obviously, morally, what he's doing is wrong. But how they show the depictions of what he does is just, it's really heinous. And I feel like it's interesting that the author would go that far to show that, because it shows like just how evil someone is. You know, same thing with certain things in Berserk. For those of you who read Berserk, because we know how gory and how dark Berserk is. Even with Vinland Saga, there are some scenes in Vinland Saga where the Vikings were killing mothers with their children from England. So it just shows like things like that. You have to show it because you have to show the extent of what certain characters are doing, just to like establish the tone and give you a sense of the situation of what's happening.
and butts and skin showing on female characters. Now, I understand there are a lot of people right now who are trying to play Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers that are experiencing technical difficulties. I myself had tried to play it on PS5 Pro and it was completely broken and I couldn't. I ended up purchasing it on PC. Haven't had any problems with it thus far on that platform, which is great. And I hope that they do put a lot of time and effort into it. I know that they already released a patch, and I'm hoping that over the next couple of days and weeks, they really fix it up, because it is a good experience all around so far.
Yeah, they're gonna fix this, because I think the last Monster Hunter game, it suffered from similar situation. Yeah, they just gotta put a patch so they can fix the issues.
And I haven't had one single complaint about the depictions of women. Okay, the game has beautiful women, has gorgeous costumes, and just the aesthetic of it is phenomenal. But this is really bothering video game journalists because they are putting out entire hit pieces on this. Parts of their reviews are trashing the game because of the woman aspect. So this is the Gamer article. It says, unfortunately for all its unique appeal, there is one increasingly common problem in the games industry that Wu-Chang suffers from, and that's a skeevy attitude towards women. These types of people want women to be depicted in one single way, and that's good. They want them to be treated good. They want them to act good. They want them to be in good situations. Like, that's just so ridiculous. It's insane. Sometimes you're going to see women in uncomfortable positions. You're going to see them in uncomfortable situations, and that is perfectly fine. Art is supposed to be uncomfortable at times. Before the cries of a woke gamer start flooding in, I'd like to preface that I'm able to enjoy games that cater to the male gaze. No, you're not. You can sit here and say that you enjoy games like Marvel Rivals and Stellar Blade and you have no problems with sexualized characters, but you wouldn't say that they are clearly to appeal to the male gaze if that was true, because that's just a fictional concept. And sometimes women also like to see very attractive characters, whether they're hunky masculine men or beautiful women.
Yeah, they do, because it's inspiring. Same thing with guys. Guys like to see like, why do you think people like Goku so much and all these Dragon Ball Z characters? You know, it's inspiring. Like, they want to have that type of body type. That's why these guys go to the gym and work out. Same thing with females. Like, this idea of quote unquote body shaming, body positivity, like, dude, like, no.
You just want a reason to complain, and the best you could come up with in this case isn't even performance problems, it's the sexualization of characters.
There's a new American Eagle ad. I think it's American Eagle. They're working with Sydney Sweeney. So apparently people are upset because she's using her attractive body for the American Eagle ads. And mind you, it's working, because a lot of people love what they're doing now with it. So, again, smart move on American Eagle and Sydney Sweeney. Yeah, that woke movement shit is dead. Like, that shit is DOA, bro. No one gives a shit about that anymore.
He says it's extremely distasteful to depict women going through untold horrors, only for you to find multiple armor sets that let you run around in their underwear. You can tell a story about the depravity of an invading army as long as you treat barbaric acts with the required sensitivity. Throughout the game, you'll see women strung up, weeping in dark rooms with a slither of a health bar, and one of the main story threads in the game revolves around an evil queen who kidnaps women to experiment on them in order to create the perfect bride for her son. It would have been fine if Wu-Chang had treated the story with the gravity it deserved, but you can find the clothing of these women and read about how horribly they've suffered, only for the game to giggle at your character's breasts boobily in the same clothes. Why is this a prop?
Again, this is another person writing for themselves. Like, this is a Chinese game. This is a Chinese game, from what I believe. They do not have to write to your ideals. Like, if you don't like the game, then that's fine, but you can't speak for everyone else. It's just insane.
Problem. You are complaining that the developers gave you more character customization options. Like, how far are we going to go in order to trash a game. Like, how low can these journalists truly go? Now you're sitting here saying, I'm mad you gave me options to look differently in this game. When the game isn't trying to get you to wear the underwear of tortured women, it actually has a pretty cool sense of style.
And that's the thing, like, from what I saw, like, you have options to, like, put on different outfits in the game. Like, again, this is someone who's writing for themselves. They're not writing for the audience. Before I end it, let's play the Wu Chang trailer so you guys can see for yourself. Let's do. I think I want to do gameplay trailer. Let's do launch trailer.
Back so soon, little girl?
So this is like how the game starts. This is the beginning.
Cause and effect has you wrapped tight. This land is no longer as it seems.
A fleeting glimpse through heaven's eyes, only to find myself trapped in this mortal guise. I should have known. You've been meddling with fate all along.
So apparently this is too beautiful for gaming. Wow. Man, the West really does not want females to be females. Like again, like you saw like all the different outfits she's wearing. So I don't know what the article's talking about.
Try to grasp it, and you bring down the wrath of the very heavens.
So, how far do you think you'll make it?
I like that still image right here. So it's really good.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The wheel turns, always waiting for rebirth.
So yeah, that's Wu Chang. Yeah, but that's what the character looks like. Apparently she's too beautiful, which is a problem for some reason. But yeah, I'm gonna be playing this in the next couple of minutes. I'm just waiting for this thing to finish downloading. But yeah, if you guys have Xbox, it's free on Game Pass. I highly recommend you go check it out. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end it there. I am gonna stream tomorrow because I do want to talk about Fantastic Four. There's probably gonna be some reviews tomorrow for the movie. For what I'm hearing, all people are saying it's a really good movie. They're saying it's the best Marvel project this year, and some people are saying it's better than the Superman movie. So that's something I do want to talk about tomorrow. I'm gonna look up some reviews tonight and tomorrow afternoon, see what's going on with that. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a night. Thank you guys for joining the stream. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow me on social media. All the links are in the description. And I'll see you guys next time. But this is the Waveblur, and I am signing out.